Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and in this video, we're going to be talking about if the New York Knicks should fire head coach Tom Thibodeau, because as we all know, the New York Knicks are collapsing before our eyes. We're in the All-Star break, and things are not looking pretty for the New York Knicks. If you guys saw my video yesterday, I talked about the report from SNY's Ian Begley, talking about how the Knicks front office and head coach Tom Thibodeau was simply just not on the same page. Associate William Wesley went up to the owner and James Dolan and expressed his thoughts that maybe Tom Thibodeau is the reason why the Knicks are so bad this season and why they're not even close to where they were last year. So in this video, I want to give you guys my thoughts. Should Johnnie Bryant be the interim head coach for the rest of the season? What would that look like if the Knicks do that? Because, guys, I know that pretty much 99.9% of Knicks fans want to fire Tom Thibodeau, but it's not as easy as a decision as you might think. So in this video, I want to give you guys my thoughts about where I stand on the situation of if the New York Knicks should consider firing Tom Thibodeau, and if they do, what would the rest of the season look like, and what would they do for next season, getting in a brand new head coach? And is the front office people still safe? Is Leon Rose still safe? Is Will West still safe? Because this is really interesting because there's a lot of things going wrong with this Knicks club. So before I hop into the video, I just want to mention, if you guys are new to Knicks Media, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. And if you want to check me out over on Instagram and Twitter, that is at NY_Knicks_media. And if you enjoyed the video, please do not forget to thumbs it up. With that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I said on all my videos this past week, I really tried to defend Tom Thibodeau earlier part in the season when we started to struggle, and I saw a lot of Knicks fans turn on Tom Thibodeau, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do that just yet. I feel like last year we had a chance. We established a culture. Coach of the Year, Tom Thibodeau. Julius Randle did his thing, 4th seed. There's no way that we're already in year 2 of Tom Thibodeau and everybody wants him gone already. I feel like he's going to get things going at the second half of the year like he did last year. And I was just trying to be optimistic. You know, I was just really trying to believe like this will work its way out. But now here we are, the All-Star break. And after watching this last week of probably the worst 3-game stretch as a Knicks fan in terms of just collapsing and embarrassing and losing to the Brooklyn Nets after being up 28, losing to the Thunder, losing to the Trailblazers by when we were up by 23. So there were just back-to-back terrible losses for the Knicks. And after watching what Tom Thibodeau did as a head coach during these games, it's really making me feel like it would be the best interest to move on from Tom Thibodeau for many reasons. Because as we know, head coach Tom Thibodeau, his philosophy is he's going to play the veterans. He's going to make sure that they get a lot of minutes because he's all about rhythm. And whatever you're the best player on the floor, he's going to get the most minutes because in his eyes, he feels like when you're on the floor a lot, you gain rhythm, and then when you get taken out and you go to the bench, you lose your rhythm. So that's why Julius Randle has led the league in minutes, like in top 5 in minutes per game ever since Thibodeau came through, as well as RJ Barrett. And one thing about Tom Thibodeau that we all knew as Knicks fans when we first got hired here is he's known to run people down in the ground. We all know what happened with Derrick Rose in Chicago, even Jimmy Butler in Minnesota. He's just known to really just drive the team out. And now we're seeing it. First and foremost, I feel like one of the biggest reasons why the Knicks, especially this past week, have blown these leads is because of the minutes. Everybody late in the 4th quarter just lose their energy. How many times so far, guys, in the past couple of weeks, have we seen the Knicks come out on fire in the 1st quarter? Looking like a phenomenal basketball team. The ball's moving. Everybody's hitting their shots. The defense is there. We're up big in the 1st quarter. We're up big in the 1st half. And then for whatever reason, when the clutch comes around the 4th quarter, seems like everybody's gassed. Nobody has the energy in order to keep up with the opponents in the clutch. And obviously that's a big component. But the other component on the 4th quarter collapses is the rotations, is the lineups out there. Why does Tom Thibodeau have an obsession with Alec Burks playing the point guard in the clutch? It doesn't make sense to me. I know that Alec Burks provided a big-time impact on the Knicks last year and sometimes this year. But listen, Alec Burks, I know he's versatile. I know that Thibodeau likes lining him up at the point guard sometimes, but he's simply just not a point guard. And I think every Knicks fan understands that. And we also understand the reality of the situation that the New York Knicks do not have a bona fide floor general. We do not have a point guard. And that's one of the biggest reasons why this Knicks team is going down in the dirt this season. So is some of the blame pointed at Tom Thibodeau? 100%. But the front office needs to be held accountable as well because they're the ones that constructed this roster. They're the one that gave Tom Thibodeau a roster without a true point guard. They went out there and got Kemba Walker, and they thought that was going to be the solution to the point guard spot, I guess. And we have guys like Miles McBride who's just killing it in the G League and not getting any minutes for the New York Knicks. I mean, guys, we even heard Derrick Rose, when he was healthy, a couple months ago, talked to the media after Deuce McBride got some minutes because of all the COVID protocols that was happening at the time. And Deuce went out there, and I think he had like 15 points or something like that. I remember he provided a big time impact when he got his like first actual minutes in the NBA. And D Rose would talk to the media saying, I really hope Tom Thibodeau gives Deuce minutes because he deserves it. And here we are, ever since that interview from D Rose, Deuce has not getting any minutes because all the players ahead of him are healthy. Guys like Kemba Walker are taking his minutes. Guys like Alec Burks are taking his minutes. That just drives me crazy because I understand, if you're playing with the veterans and we're trying to go and win a championship, yeah, that makes sense. But we all know that this Knicks team is not constructed to win a championship. Hell, it's not even constructed to make the damn playoffs. So here we are, guys. We're in the All-Star break, and the big question is, do the New York Knicks try to hold on to head coach Tom Thibodeau and try to, establish that culture, try to develop this team and go into year number 3 with Coach Thibodeau next year? Or do they pull the plug and hand the keys to Johnnie Bryant and let the kids play? I think a lot of Knicks fans are on the wave of letting Johnnie Bryant take over the reins and let the young foundation of this young Knicks team, like Quentin Grimes, like Deuce McBride, like Jericho Sims, IQ, Obi Toppin, Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, all those guys I just mentioned are the future of this team. And the unfortunate reality is Tom Thibodeau is not handing the minutes just to hand the minutes in his eyes. His philosophy, he says it after every single game, I'm not just handing out minutes, the minutes are earned. And yes, that's a typical head coach answer, and I respect him for that. But at the same time, you're just contradicting yourself because you're giving minutes to guys that just has no impact on this team whatsoever. Like Kemba Walker has been absolutely atrocious for the past couple of weeks. He's still out there getting minutes. Alec Burks, he's been doing absolutely nothing. He's had his, flash in the pan heroics here and there. But what makes you believe that he deserves any minutes? There's so many veterans out there that's just getting all the minutes. And then when Tom Thibodeau says, minutes are, earned, they're not given, that just doesn't make sense because we're seeing the product on the floor. This Knicks team just simply do not play well together. And that's another thing I want to talk about the front office is, I think we can all agree that we have a talented roster in terms of individual talent, but the problem is they're not connecting. Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, Kemba Walker, the starting lineup, for whatever reason, they're just not in sync. They're not in sync defensively and offensively. And that's what basketball is all about. You can have the most talented players on the same court together, but if they do not sync together, do not have that chemistry, nothing will matter. You see teams around the league like the Milwaukee Bucks, the Phoenix Suns, the top tier teams, yes, they have so much talent across the roster, but the reason why they're so damn good is because they're well coached and they play together. They play for one in each other, and the ball is moving, it's fluid, and just playing cohesive basketball. Right now, it just feels like the Knicks are lacking that true floor general point guard that can orchestrate everything late in the fourth quarter. Now, is Derrick Rose a big reason why we don't have that point guard because he's been injured for the past 2 months? Absolutely. And listen, guys, I'm just like rambling on about my thoughts about the hypothetical scenario about what if the Knicks do fire head coach Tom Thibodeau. Because I remember last year in the offseason, my vibes were high. I think every Knicks fan was. We were all like, wow, we got our coach. He won coach of the year, for God's sake, in his first time ever as a Knicks head coach. And we're coming off, a disappointing playoff performance, but we still made the playoffs after not being in the playoffs for 8 seasons. So a lot of Knicks fans thought that this is the beginning of something new, the beginning of something competent. The Knicks are back. We're actually an organization that's going to be at least in the playoffs year in and year out with Coach Thibodeau. And now all of a sudden we're the All-Star break in the season, and we all want Coach Thibodeau gone because of a lot of reasons. His rotations, his stubbornness of not really being able to adapt to the modern day NBA, playing way too many minutes to guys like Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, leaving RJ Barrett in the game with 17 seconds left after being down 15 points, which resulted in an injury to RJ Barrett. That's totally inexcusable stuff right there. So we all know that the report yesterday that the front office went up to the owner and James Dolan. They said they're concerned of Tom Thibodeau. So now the big question is Dolan going to pull the plug? Is he going to make a move? Is he going to fire head coach Tom Thibodeau and then bring in Johnnie Bryant as the interim head coach for the rest of the season? That's a big time question, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Would you want the New York Knicks to fire head coach Tom Thibodeau? And if the answer is yes, why? Why do you want Tom Thibodeau out of here? Is it a stubbornness in terms of, not playing the young kids, not giving the young guys an opportunity to develop? Or is it his minutes? Is it his rotations, his lack of adjustments in the fourth quarter? What is the reason why you want Tom Thibodeau out of the door? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. And also, if you guys enjoyed the video, please do not forget to like it. I really greatly appreciate that. So we get as many Knicks fans in here commenting down below your guys' thoughts, because I love connecting with Knicks fans all across the world. This Knicks community is so rich, and I love being a part of it. Even though it's toxic right now to be a Knicks fan, we're all still passionate, and we're all have a reason to express our feelings about this Knicks team. So please feel free to comment down below your thoughts. So that does it for this video, guys, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Let's enjoy All-Star Weekend. Let's enjoy our boy Obi Toppin, hopefully winning the slam dunk contest, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, everybody.